What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling. We got the three amigos in the building today. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? We Are Wrestling Maniacs. It has been the third of the podcast, and we got some predictions coming your way today because Saturday, it is Money in the Bank. So it's going to be pretty fucking lit. But before we get into that, Don, what's good?
That's right. This Saturday on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, all three of us, the big three, we're going to be going live for WWE Money in the Bank. But before we dive into our predictions for Money in the Bank, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course, you already know, the grind is real. And to all the listeners out there that are listening to the podcast, give us a 5-star review.
Exactly, man. I just wanted to bring this up before we actually get started, because we do like the bullshit around. I just noticed that, Ben, he's the only one today wearing the We Are Wrestling hoodie.
I'm only the only one repping the shit every time.
He's also the only one that doesn't have his mic covered in fucking We Are Wrestling stickers, man. So what the fuck is up with that?
What were you saying?
You gotta give out. You gotta show that shit, man. Have
What
that
are you
mic
saying?
fucking turn.
What are you saying? What were you saying? But not tell me I don't have any. You could suck a dick.
Yours are just all over the place.
Yeah, dude, I have OCD, and I like to keep it pretty snazzy, so fuck you, first of all.
I put this one and the purple one, and then...
Y'all see this?
I got her.
Danny over here fucking trying to ruin my swag.
Yeah, man.
This fucking
Trying to ruin
guy.
it. But we got predictions, man, going down. Saturday's Money in the Bank. The card is really good. It's stacked beyond belief. Some of the matches, obviously, we're not gonna like everything that's gonna be on the card, but knowing the way that WWE structures a lot of their PLEs lately, I mean, it's gonna be a banger show. It's gonna be kind of weird watching a WWE PLE that's like at 3:00 in the afternoon. Besides, outside of it being a Saudi show. So other than that, man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta say, looking at the match card, I'm very impressed. I think that we have a really good card ahead of us. I think that this is going to be a very solid, premier live event. And honestly, I'm very excited. I know there's, been some reports that they definitely have some twists and some turns that are going to be happening, things that we're not going to be expecting. So hearing those reports definitely got me excited for this pay-per-view. Well, premier live event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man.
Obviously, the Bloodline Civil War is the main thing that everybody's looking forward to, seeing how that plays out. But we'll get to that, man. We'll get to that shit. I don't even know where. We don't know which order the matches are going to be going. Obviously, I believe the Bloodline match is going to be the main event. But I think personally we should start off with the women's Money in the Bank, because I think that was the first match that happened last year. So I mean, they could repeat themselves,
Well, Danny, that was the first one that I did have. So, the first match for WWE Money in the Bank, we have the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Io Sky versus Bayley versus Trish Stratus versus Zelina Vega versus Zoe Starks and versus the man, Becky Lynch.
All right, so looks like a pretty tight matchup. I definitely probably would have preferred to see other faces, but for what we got, I'm going to give you guys my prediction right off the bat, and I don't think I need to speak much on it other than one performance, but I'm going to go with Io Sky. Io Sky needs this 100%. I feel like she could really help shape the future of the main roster women's division. I think that she could really carry it. I think a match between her and Asuka would be fucking banger worthy. I feel like you should let these women really go at it, make it non-disqualification, really let them fucking shine. Give us some fucking New Japan vibes, bro. 100%. Give us a really big stakes match. 100. So I'm gonna go with fucking Io Sky. especially after that matchup with Bianca Belair, man. That shit fucking never thought in a million years that was going to be one of my favorite matches of a pay-per-view. But, dude, that was a history maker for me when it comes to Io Sky. 100%.
Yeah, and they've sort of been teasing it over the last couple of months about, obviously the split from Damage Control or whatever. Bailey cost Io Sky the last big match that she had, which I believe was at Backlash. So she is definitely my pick. Io Sky is definitely my pick.
Hell fucking yeah.
That I think we've been saying this since I want to say at least the Royal Rumble that we need to see Io Sky versus Asuka for the women's championship in like a big match, like
That's
a big
what I'm
main
saying,
event.
man. Yeah, dude. 100%.
Solid rivalry.
Exactly. And like Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark and Becky Lynch, like they're involved in the feud or whatever. I don't necessarily think there's anybody else in the Money in the Bank that would really benefit from actually winning the match. You know what I mean? Obviously, they need to have big names in the match to, get people excited. But I do think Io Sky is going to be the one to take it home. Either that, or if I had to pick somebody else, it would probably be Zelina Vega because of Backlash.
Well, that's an upset right there.
I don't know. I mean, they did it to Liv Morgan. You know what I mean? So we've seen it before.
Liv Morgan, though. Zelina, though, has been a champion before. Liv Morgan had an underdog story going on.
Zelina's never been champion.
She's never been champion? Oh, okay. So, no, I stand corrected. All right. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I stand corrected. All right, 100%. Sorry. But, yeah, where I can understand, the whole Zelina Vega thing, I hope they don't, just because I feel like all eggs should go on fucking Io. Io is really, I think, shined the most. Like, yeah, Puerto Rico was a fucking blast. It really was. It really got to showcase what Zelina Vega can do, and I want that for her eventually. Mm-hmm. But right now, kick it off with Io. 1,000%, dude. I would fucking pay to see her main event something. 100%.
And I gotta say this about Zelina Vega. I don't think she needs the Money in the Bank to get more over. I think she's doing just fine right now with the LWO.
There you go.
And I just like that they're just letting her do her thing finally. Like, she's not in a valet role. She's, actually wrestling. She's able to do what, she loves doing.
And let her do that
the LWO is a perfect way for her to, get TV time and to even, shine. Like in this match, I think that she's going to have some really cool spots that I'm looking
I think she's going to have phenomenal spots.
I definitely think my pick is definitely Io Sky, but like if I had to pick somebody else, it would, I would pick Zelina Vega just because everybody else is wrapped up in other things. So
I can definitely back that 100%. I could definitely understand, and I could, if it came down to it, I could accept it, but I'm still going to go with Io Sky.
So my thoughts, going into this, women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I honestly really like, the people in this match. I think adding Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Zoe Starks into this was a smart move because they're giving that time to build the feud with, Becky and Trish even more so that they have a bigger payoff at SummerSlam. So I do really like that. Bailey being involved, I think that's good because it's going to further her storyline with Io Sky because we all know eventually, they're definitely going to be separating. And, having, Zelina in there, she, was very popular in, her match against, Rhea Ripley. So having her at Money in the Bank, I think it's a great opportunity to get her even more over than she already is. Don't think she needs to win, but I got to go with you guys and pick Io Sky. I think her cashing in on Asuka, that'd be a great way to, really get that feud going. And I think definitely could make both women even more better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It should be an okay match, I mean, I don't really have any complaints about it. But hopefully Io Sky wins and goes on to face Asuka, potentially SummerSlam or Survivor Series, and we get a hell of a banger out of it.
Yeah, man.
And I do want to add, too, if Io Sky doesn't win because they want to further, her storyline with, Bailey and Bailey screws her, honestly, I would not mind Becky Lynch winning because this past Monday, that tease with, Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, honestly, I can't wait to see them two feud for the championship. But I don't think she needs the briefcase to do that.
No. Especially with what she has going on with Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark. And, I do think, now this is going to be a huge prediction. I do think at some point Lita comes back and teams with Becky Lynch to face Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark. So again, after all these years, bro, it's been 17 years, and this year we could potentially be getting Trish Stratus and Lita against each other again. It's gonna be
That'd be
wild.
sick as fuck.
That could happen.
Nostalgia City.
So we're all in agreement. Io Sky, right?
Yep.
Io Sky, man.
Alrighty. Moving on now to the next match on the card. We have a match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Gunther versus Matt Riddle.
All right, so you know, if you asked me, 6 months ago, I would put eggs on Riddle, but I have no faith at this point, so I'm just gonna get on with it. Say it's gonna be a pretty good match, good technical match, both really really good in the ring, but it's gonna go to Gunther. Big bottom line.
Yeah, Riddle's sort of been very stagnant, I feel like, since Randy left. I feel like he was becoming like a big main event guy, with Randy by his side.
It doesn't help that the man keeps getting in trouble and
exactly
getting attention for the wrong reasons.
No offense to Riddle, but if WWE is gonna have Gunther absolutely demolish the tag team champions, who single-handedly pretty much took apart the bloodline.
Oh, I wouldn't say demolish. Come on, they had solid matches.
Solid matches, but he beat the fuck out of him, bro. I mean, you see those chops on Monday to Sammy? Oof, I felt those things. I just don't see them doing that and then having Riddle be the one to beat Gunther. I don't see it happening.
Well, there's a simple thing to this. Gunther is going to retain his championship because they want him to beat the Honky Tonk Man's record.
Everything
and Riddle is definitely not winning the championship. Not happening.
Especially with I'm not even gonna say. I was gonna say something, but I'm not even gonna say it.
But here's the thing, like with Riddle, I think that this is definitely going to be one of his better matches. I think Gunther, he's been putting on classics every single Premier Live event that he's on, and I think that this is going to be definitely a potential match of the night if things go right.
This match is definitely going to be a banger, but I feel like, again, it's one of those matches that's very predictable. Like, we already know the outcome going into the show. But it's going to be a banger match. I'm going to go into this match just wanting to be entertained, bro. Wanting to see two dudes brutalize each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I really hope Riddle, can get his personal stuff, situated as well. Because I know he has the potential of being, a future world champion. He just, needs to just get on the right path and just focus on his professional career.
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah.
So hopefully that this is a good way for him to, have a fresh start. But moving on now to the next match we have here. We have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio.
Boo! You suck!
Cody, obviously.
Boo!
Yeah, Cody's taking it. Dominic's gonna show a lot of good spots. He's gonna get put over by Cody. I really think it's just another thing that it's gonna showcase who he can hang with in the ring and make more like kind of establishing himself against good competitors and not just random people. And I hope that he can really stand on his own. But I'm obviously gonna go with Cody. But I think if not Cody, Dominic with the interference of Brock leading to SummerSlam.
I do think that Brock Lesnar interferes or whatever, because Brock Lesnar I don't think he gave Cody an answer about doing another match.
And Dominic needs more heat too. So
this could be, a way of us finding out, like, yes, SummerSlam is gonna be Brock and Cody again. So I do think that happens. Plus, they're gonna want to plan a big spot for it being in the UK. You know what I mean? How often do they do a big show there? So I could definitely see that happening. I do think Dominic is going to show out here. Like the last couple of weeks on TV, he's been doing cheap shots and, hiding behind Rhea and, really like standing his ground, but also
is it just me or is it hot in here?
Oh, man, my temperature's going up.
With the heat, bro.
Nuclear heat!
Hey, bro, most people only last 10 minutes in the joint. He's spent 15, okay? I mean, that's a long fucking time, bro. That's a long time, bro. I mean, some people die before that time comes.
Dom is just misunderstood, all right? People just don't understand what he's going through.
Exactly.
Like
There's only one doctor that can help him, and that's Dr. Shelby.
Exactly, man. But I do think that Dom is gonna show out, because like I said, the last couple of weeks he's just been doing nothing but cheap shotting, hanging, standing behind Rhea, whatever. So obviously Cody's not gonna hit Rhea. But I do think that we're gonna see some good stuff.
Hey, dude, if Rhea Ripley was in front of me, I'd want to stay behind her too.
So there's two ways this match can go between Dom and Cody. The first way, the match doesn't even happen because Brock Lesnar decides to come out and beat the shit out of Cody. Dom escapes, gets massive heat for it. Or option 2, the match does happen. Cody Rhodes kicks Dominic's ass. The crowd's going to be going crazy for it because they want to see, Dom get his ass kicked. And I think towards the end of the match, Brock Lesnar comes out and screws Cody Rhodes. And I think this is going to be the upset that the reports have been going on. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to beat Cody Rhodes, and I think it's going to be because of Brock Lesnar, and that's what's going to lead to 3 stages of hell at SummerSlam.
Imagine this: the referee gets knocked out.
Cody does Cody Rhodes.
Cody does the crossroads. He goes to pin Dominic. Sees the referee is out. Brock slides in the ring, gives him F5, puts
Brock
Dominic on top of him.
Nowhere.
1, 2, 3.
But that's what I'm saying. Here's why I do like this match with Dom and Cody. You have one of, the top baby faces in Cody going against pretty much like the top heel in all of wrestling right now. And I think, Dom getting a win over Cody, I think won't harm Cody, especially if Brock comes in and screws him. And it's also going to add more heat to Dominic Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This man's over here losing it.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
But yeah. So. So who do you guys got?
I'm gonna go with Dom with interference of Brock.
I got same, man. That's the only way I see, and I don't. I think Cody could. I think Cody could stand losing a match, especially if he loses because of Brock Lesnar.
And then fucking Dom capitalizing on the fucking opportunity. Of course, nuclear heat. Yeah, no, it's a win-win.
Could you imagine this happens and then Monday night Dominic tries to cut a promo? Do you imagine how much heat he's gonna get?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I got Dominic, beating Cody.
Oh,
let's fucking go, man.
I'm with it.
I'm even more. I wasn't that exciting, up until this point going into this match because I was like, oh, it's just gonna be generic bullshit. But now, like,
Brock Lesnar.
Actually having a conversation, talking about it, and discussing on how it could possibly go, I'm a little bit more intrigued to see how this match plays out.
Look at that. The magic of podcasts.
Podcasting is awesome. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah, download the fuck out of us so you can make Danny's nipples hard.
Get your Deutschland sausages out the fucking camera, boy.
Face. All over my face.
Now that is a little too far.
That's where we'll fucking put the line.
That's where we draw the civil line.
Like the Civil War, the blood
said all over my face.
Are you looking for wrestling content? Well, we are Wrestling Provides Everything Pro Wrestling. The best one, Donnie, Danny Huckins, and the Load Rager Ben are wrestling marks like you who love this sport. We are Wrestling Has It All when it comes to wrestling content. We have different podcasts, vlogs, reactions, full wrestling matches, live pay-per-view watch-alongs, interviews, predictions, and so much more. Only on We Are Wrestling. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and become a We Are Wrestling Maniac now. I'm very excited for this match because I feel like this could really, elevate Dom to a more serious status, but also at the same time still getting that nuclear heat he's been getting.
Yeah, baby.
Yep.
That nuclear 100. Latino heat.
Like I said, it's a win-win regardless.
Exactly.
Great, man. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait. But moving on now to the next match on the card. It is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Raquel and Liv Morgan.
All right, so you want to know my honest thoughts? I don't fucking care about this match at all. Like, I don't care who fucking wins. Like, I'm not sold on either team. Like, I think if anybody has the most charisma, it's fucking Raquel.
Bro, you want to know what's
like,
weird?
I don't like. I kind of gave up on Liv Morgan. Like, I gave up on fucking Ronda forever ago. I don't have any faith in Shayna Baszler until she fucking turns on Ronda eventually. You know, like I said, most really one that's got anything going for her right now is Raquel. So I really don't care. I feel like, however, the title should go back to Raquel and Liv Morgan for storyline purposes, and the fact that they should never really lost them in the first place. Or if they're gonna lose them, at least have it mean something. Because I feel like those titles are kind of afloat right now. So honestly, I don't care. But if I had to pick who I think's gonna fucking win, it's gonna be Ronda and Shayna.
There's something I do want to talk about that like involves the titles and it involves the division.
Okay.
I definitely want to, say this, and I think that this is the perfect time to say this.
Yeah, man.
I really like what Triple H has been doing with the women tag teams. He's actually been showcasing them more, doing more segments with them, doing more matches. I'm actually pretty impressed with the way he's been, doing things in that division.
They have tag team titles for a company that has 3 legitimate tag teams. I wouldn't necessarily say that's showcasing the tag team division.
There's more than 3, buddy.
I don't think
I can
so.
give you 5.
Who?
All right, so first one, obviously the champions, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler. They got history, that counts. Second one, we have the Fire, that whatever that team's called on SmackDown.
Alpha Fire and
Alpha Fire. Katana and Kaden. They're another legit tag team.
Yeah.
The fourth one, Raquel, Liv. They have shown the relationship that they've built.
Raquel was just in a tag team match because Liv was injured to get the tag team titles back. She is not there.
All right, so we won't count that one then. All right. The fourth one that I do have. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Friggin' Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Because on their main roster debut, they were a tag team.
But also, Dakota Kai is probably not going to end up coming back until next year. So
don't matter. They still,
either way,
on the main roster, have been a legitimate tag team.
Either way, how I think this match is going to play out, I obviously don't think Ronda and Shayna are going to lose. They're going to win. And I do think that Liv Morgan is going to have enough of Raquel and turn on her, because after Raquel lost on Friday on SmackDown, Liv Morgan had this like evil look, like, are you fucking serious? You actually lost this match, like really, like just kind of pissed off and annoyed at Raquel. So I do see Liv Morgan, being sick of being a loser, pretty much turning on Raquel. That pretty much turns Liv Morgan from a babyface into a heel, because we've sort of seen that it was supposed to happen last year at Extreme Rules when Bray Wyatt came back. Remember during her match or whatever, she just started going all crazy. That was gonna be a heel turn. Then they ended up not doing it for whatever reason. So I do think Liv Morgan turns heel up to Saturday.
Oh, and the fifth tag team is
This man's still fucking going, bro.
And the last one's Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Who pissed in your fucking tea today, boy?
You, bitch.
Obviously. Obviously.
But no, I gotta say, like, I think we're all in agreement here. It's gonna be a better payoff when Shayna turns on Ronda, and same thing with Liv and Raquel when Raquel turns on Liv. Because honestly, I'm waiting for that. I feel like that's why they paired the two up as a tag team, so that eventually Raquel can turn heel. And I think that, she has the potential of being a top heel in WWE in the women's division. So honestly, I'm going to say Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are going to win this. And I think Raquel's going to turn on Liv, and we're going to get that program.
It's just gonna be weird, because obviously they unified the tag team, the tag team titles for both the main roster and NXT. Ronda barely likes to go to fucking one show. I don't see her wanting to go to NXT on Tuesday, go to Raw on Mondays, going to SmackDown on Friday. I do feel like they're gonna eventually lose the titles because that just seems like too much work that Ronda Rousey doesn't want to do. She's pretty much already
Oh,
showed that she doesn't
I thought
want
the
to be there.
titles like now are like extinct. No,
No, the title they're
the
unified.
NXT
So
ones.
the tag team titles belong to the main roster and NXT.
Oh, okay. So who do we got?
Ronda and Shayna.
Ronda and Shayna for now.
Ronda and Shayna. But now moving on to a more exciting match.
Thank God.
We're all in agreement of that, at least. That this is definitely the most lackluster match on the card.
Ben was about to get up, get in his bed, and take a nap.
Yeah.
He can too. It's right behind him. All right, so this next match is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth friggin' Rollins defending the championship against Finn Balor.
Okay, this one's better. Obviously Seth's gonna take it. Like, we already know where that's going, but it's gonna make up for a good storyline. You know, there's been, turmoil amidst the Judgment Day, kind of. And they've also been kind of teasing Finn leaving anyways. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I think this is just going to be a really good match. You know, I think this is going to not really a classic per se, but just a really, really good show, especially on the UK's behalf, especially for Finn Balor, who is likely going to be, you know, a hometown boy because he's from the UK. So I don't really see a lot of significance in it much. So I think it's just going to be an entertaining bout. So I'm going to go with Seth.
I have a little thing I got to say about this match, and I wasn't thinking about it until I was watching Raw on Monday and just like I saw the video package from Finn or whatever. It was a horrible show, by the way.
That was a fantastic video package.
It was a great video package. It went all the way back to 2016, and you know when he first won the Universal title, he got he won it, and then he had to fucking leave because he was injured, so we had to vacate it.
That shot of Seth Rollins coming out with like that smile, that I couldn't believe that they had a clip like that.
Exactly. Have you guys ever thought about this? Okay, so obviously we see turmoil. We see turmoil in the Judgment Day. There's stuff going on. Finn Balor's, he's out of his mind right now, like trying to figure out what his next direction is. He's doing this stuff with Seth Rollins, from way back or whatever. And seems like there's a little bit of issues between him and Priest. Have you ever thought about this? Now, this is something
Probably not.
I don't.
I'm sure I've already said this.
This is sort of gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to talk about the men's Money in the Bank too, when I really explain this. But have you ever thought about what is the possibility of Finn Balor beating Seth Rollins, Damian Priest winning Money in the Bank, and it could cause a split between.
Save it. Just say that there are things on the outer scope of the universe that could hinder the decision. Just say it that way.
There are things that could hinder the decision, man. And I feel like because Seth Rollins,
we're getting there.
He's not Roman Reigns. Nobody's gonna look twice if he ends up losing the title, especially to somebody like Finn Balor, somebody as over as Finn Balor.
Yeah.
So there's that possibility.
That's sellable.
And there is a possibility. I do agree with you.
And that would cause further turmoil in Judgment Day because Damian Priest said a couple weeks ago, or Finn said, if you win Money in the Bank, you're not going to cash in on me, are you? And Priest was like, no, of course not. It could happen. It could cause further turmoil.
I kind of want Damian Priest to win the Money in the Bank now.
I'm going to say this right now and say that you have a big point there, sir. And I really can't agree. I can't argue with it. I really can't. Like, I think it's a really, really good take. So you got some depth there. I'll give it to you, dude. You're on fire. I
got something too.
Yeah, 100%. Dan, really, really solid point, and I'll definitely keep that in mind. But Don, what about you?
So, I could definitely see that happening. I think you definitely made some great points there. But here's what I think is going to happen, and I've been saying this for quite a while now. I think, going into Money in the Bank, I got to say, at first, I wasn't excited about this match, but now that they're bringing in the history, it makes sense. And Finn Balor, I love seeing the side of him. And honestly, that video package, really sold me on this match. I think, him attacking Rollins on Raw and NXT, that was a great way. Also having Carmelo Hayes get in there somehow, some way to at least have Seth Rollins' back does make sense because, he has the Judgment Day that's going to have his back. So here's what I think is going to happen, because we have been getting the tease that Finn Balor and, Judgment Day with him and Priest, they've been having some issues. I think Seth friggin' Rollins is going to retain his championship. And on Monday Night Raw, Damian Priest becomes the leader of Judgment Day. JD McDonough joins the Judgment Day, and they turn on Finn Balor. And that's going to lead to Finn Balor coming back as the Demon and, coming back as, going to try to take out the Judgment Day.
I have a question about that,
too.
Though.
What's up?
JD McDonough, he's pretty much Finn Balor's protege. Finn Balor trained him. They have a long history there. Yep. Why would JD McDonough, without any further story, sort of turn his back on Finn Balor to join Judgment Day and Damian Priest? I think it would be the other way around. Yes. Damian Priest leaves, and Finn Balor recruits JD McDonough, and then Finn Balor continues to lead the Judgment Day.
You see here, JD McDonough is the ace, and he's the type of person that if he gets an opportunity, he's going to take it. He doesn't care whose throat he has to cut. And I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to cut Finn Balor's throat. And then, the next week on Raw, after Finn Balor, gets turned on, then he's going to explain his actions because he doesn't want to be in Finn Balor's shadow.
I can agree with that. But if that were to happen, I would want a little bit more on. I would want them to develop a sort of a relationship on screen or whatever. That way, when that does happen, it has a bigger impact.
I gotta agree with you on that. Like, I would want there to be a bigger impact on that. But I'm just thinking, because I know you both have said about, Damian Priest being the one to leave Judgment Day.
Yep.
Multiple times. But now think about it. Dominic and Rhea. Who do they hang out with more, Finn Balor or Damian Priest?
Damian Priest. I have to ask you this.
That's why I think him being the leader of Judgment Day will be great, because I think Damian Priest doesn't need to turn face.
Isn't Damian Priest technically the leader of Judgment Day because it was him, Rhea, and Edge, and then Finn Balor joined after they kicked out Edge?
Yeah, but Finn that could add to the story. Because he has more of like the accolades to, be the leader of the group.
All right. I don't know. Well, there we go.
I didn't realize this match could go in so many different directions.
It could. And honestly, I'm very excited about this, and I think it's going to be a classic. I'm very excited.
I'm going to go with Seth, though.
I got to go with Seth just because, he's a bit on a roll. He's definitely, he's been a fighting champion. He's been a fighting champion, and that's exactly what they said.
And it's just going to be the workhorse title. And to have him drop it that fast would take the prestige away from it. So I feel like having him just drop it right now just shows it's another easy title.
But I will say, if he were to lose it, I would definitely want him to lose it to somebody like Finn Balor.
Because, no, for sure. Finn Balor's just the first good defense.
Besides the Bloodline, the Judgment Day is like the number 2 in all of WWE, in my personal opinion.
So yeah, because they've built them that way.
Yeah, and ever since the brand split, with Raw, they've been building it around the Judgment Day, which I do really like, because it's giving you a reason to tune into Raw. Because before, the Bloodline would just overlap them because of how popular they were. But now having them on SmackDown and then, having Raw be open, I think the Judgment Day, taking that spot that the Bloodline did before, great move.
I'm a huge 100%. Edge mark, but the best thing they ever did was kick Edge out. Yes. And the best 100%. Thing Edge could have done was leave, because the Judgment Day, how it is now compared to how it was, completely different.
100%.
I do got Seth Rollins winning this.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got Seth Rollins, but I wouldn't be mad if they ended up giving it to Finn.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on now to the next match we have. It's the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Damian Priest versus LA Knight versus Butch versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar versus Logan Paul and versus Ricochet.
So we already know the match is going to be killer. We have so many high spots happening in this match.
Before we pick our winners, I want each of us to give our thoughts on this match.
Okay.
And then we can pick our winners and dive into that.
So yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
Just because there's a lot of things to unfold with this match.
Yeah, for sure. So it's gonna be nuts. We're gonna have a ton of high spots. You got a couple high flyers here. You got Logan Paul, you got Ricochet, you got Santos Escobar. You know, you got a lot of these dudes that can fly, but you also have, you know, dudes like LA Knight. You have Damian Priest who can also fly. You know, there's Butch who is an aggressive ass fucking wrestler. You know, they're Ricochet. You know, they're just all so diverse. It's like a fucking cesspool of awesomeness. So it's really going to have some good moments here that I think are going to stand the time of the Money in the Bank history, just based on what they can do with the ladders alone.
Yep.
Number two, I think the scale of how intense this match is going to be is going to add up to previous matches that have really, you know, shined the spotlight on what this whole thing is about. I think we're going to get a couple close calls where we think, you know, it's going to go one direction, then we're going to get a fucking completely different direction. I hope we get some ruthless aggression moments, you know. I hope we get some finishers from the top of the ladders that fucking, you know, just, oh, God, dude. I'm just looking so forward to the carnage aspect of it more than anything. Like, I'm stoked for the win, but I'm looking more so for the journey of what's going to happen during the match. Like, I
They
really
couldn't
want
have
to see some
picked
people
7
shine.
better people for this match.
In this day and
Exactly.
age, in this era particularly, no, they couldn't have. Like, it really is going to be an exciting match. I think it's going to showcase Santos Escobar a lot more on the fucking main roster. I think he's going to have a lot of good high spots. I think Logan Paul's really obviously going to shine. Dude is obviously born for this, molded for this. LA Knight, dude. I mean, I think this dude's going to do some crazy shit that we're not ready for. Yeah. You know, I think we're really going to get some cool shit there. Like I said, everybody in this match has really good skills, and they are all diverse in their own right. So to see them in this kind of capacity in this stage, awesome. So I'm stoked for it.
There is one prediction I do want to say before, Danny, you give your thoughts on all of this. Butch's name will disappear, and he's coming back as Pete Dunne.
It's about fucking time.
In the
I
UK.
could see that.
Perfect time.
I could
do
see
it.
that. I could see that.
It's my boy Pete Dunne.
He's going to come out to his NXT theme song, and they're going to completely pretend that that Butch name never existed.
Yeah, Butch. I mean,
and they're going to say, and you're going to hear Samantha say, "Please welcome the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne," and the crowd's going to go nuts.
I could definitely see that happening, and I definitely do want that to happen. But as far as like what I think of the match, the match had an okay build. I do like a lot of the participants in this match. Santos Escobar and LWO is like one of the most over teams in WWE. They're like the number 2 merch sellers of anybody in the company. Even though they don't necessarily win all their matches, people just love the LWO. Maybe it's a nostalgia factor because
Mr.
obviously
Latino Heat.
it was started with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero back in WCW. So you have like a lot of the nostalgia fans or whatever from back in the day that enjoyed the group. We have Logan Paul who does a lot of crazy spots. It's gonna be crazy seeing what him and Ricochet can do because you know when it comes to Logan Paul, he's gonna want to go fucking viral. So like what like you know we've seen it with him and Rollins, we've seen it with him and Roman Reigns. Like what is he gonna do? Nobody knows. And that like that rope to rope spot at the Rumble between Ricochet and Logan Paul was fucking nuts. I do feel like this match is gonna help develop a story between them that's gonna go throughout the summer. LA Knight, man, one of the most over guys besides Roman Reigns in the company.
Yeah.
LA Knight is
Yeah.
just LA Knight is the fucking guy, bro.
Yeah.
Damian Priest. Obviously, we did just talk about him and discuss, my thoughts on how I think this match is gonna play out potentially. Damian Priest is over. The dude is just, very. What's the word I'm looking for?
Charismatic.
The dude knows his way around a wrestling ring. Like no doubt about it. He's very fluid in his motions. He can work and he has chemistry with just about anybody. So it's going to be interesting seeing him. I do want Pete Dunne to come back, man. Pete Dunne needs to come back. We heard a lot of reports several months ago that Triple H was going to get rid of the whole Butch moniker and bring back Pete Dunne.
It's happening.
The
Money in the
Bruiserweight.
Bank. It's happening.
But the thing about that is we also heard that, I think, before Clash of the Castle last year. So if they didn't do it then, why are they going to do it now? This, especially now that we know that Vince McMahon is sort of, running creative alongside Triple H. Is that something that Vince McMahon wants to do? Like, so you have to take that into account as well. So there's just a lot of things going into this match. There's a lot of different outcomes. There's a lot of different personalities. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen at the end of the day, man?
Which, speaking of the whole, Vince McMahon and Triple H creative, this Saturday before Money in the Bank, there's going to be a brand new episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast where Ben and myself are going to be diving into the whole WWE Divide drama and the AEW Divide drama as well.
Boy.
It's going to be a must-watch episode of the podcast. But now, getting back into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, my thoughts on all of this, they couldn't have picked, 7 better people for this. I think that Santos, this is a great way for him to get more over with the crowd by putting him on, a premier live event. Because out of everybody in the LWO, we've seen Zelina Vega starting to get more over. Rey Mysterio's obviously over. But Santos hasn't really been as over as he should. The other 2 guys in the group, like, that's one thing because they're a tag team. But Santos, hasn't really gotten over yet with, the main roster crowd. So I think the Money in the Bank, that's a great way to, put him in there. I also really like Damian Priest in here because one thing that 2023 has, taught all of us is that Damian Priest is a main event guy. And he can work with just about everybody. Also, Pete Dunne coming back as Pete Dunne, that's going to be huge. I think he's going to, have some nice spots in there. Also, Ricochet and Logan Paul. I really do like that. Honestly, going into SummerSlam, that's who I want to see, wrestle Logan Paul is Ricochet. I feel like he deserves to, have that opportunity because I believe there was a thing that came out with like who wrestled the most matches this year, and Ricochet actually has wrestled the most matches out of anybody in WWE this year.
And Ricochet's never had like a big match or a big spot. He's
and I
always
think,
been sort of a
SummerSlam's a perfect
mid-card.
place for him to have a one-on-one match with Logan Paul, so you could further that. LA Knight, is just over right now. He's red hot, so putting him in here, great move and very believable. So honestly, like, I'm very excited about this Money in the Bank match card. And I think this is going to go down as one of the better Money in the Bank ladder matches.
I do have to say this, and I do want to get your both of your opinion on this. All right. So obviously there was a lot of qualifying matches to see who was going to be in this match. But I've been hearing a lot of things, a lot of chatter online, people saying, well, why'd they have qualifying matches just to have Logan Paul be like, oh, I called up WWE management and they put me in the match? Don't you think that was a little bit unfair to the other participants in the match?
No, it generates heat.
Exactly. And Logan Paul right now is trying to generate heat. And I think, him like already being in the match because of his status, I love that like he shoved that in our face because that just, adds heat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It adds to that star power that he has. Which like that's why like going into that match at Crown Jewel, I was disappointed that Logan Paul got the opportunity to fight Roman because he was a babyface in that situation, and it would have been more believable if he had this attitude. Like, oh, I'm a star. I don't have to do a qualifying match or a number 1 contenders match to get a shot at you.
Yeah, but you really can't have a heel go against a heel because then who would the crowd, be
Yeah,
behind?
no, obviously I get that, but I'm just saying Logan Paul's attitude,
yeah,
it would have been more believable.
You can still be a
getting a title
babyface
shot because of his, celebrity status.
You can still be a babyface but have a cocky attitude because of how good you are. So
Not
I do
Logan Paul,
get
though.
that.
The casuals, they hate the Paul brothers.
Oh, of course, bro.
Well, they hate Jake more than Logan, but still. Logan knows how to turn that switch on.
Logan is 100% heel, bro. He cut that promo in fucking Cleveland in his hometown talking about, the best thing that I ever did was get the hell out of here. I became a winner once I got out of here. And people fucking turned on him like you wouldn't believe.
That was great. So now the big question here is, Who do we have winning this Money in the Bank ladder match?
LA Knight.
I sort of talked about it earlier in the show, and my main number one pick is LA Knight. I feel like he's the one that could benefit the most from winning the Money in the Bank at the end of the day. That and like seeing him in a feud with Rollins. I mean, bro, LA Knight and Rollins. Could you imagine that?
Tell me, dude. That's literally what I said in the podcast. So yes, abso-fucking-lutely. And I was like, before he runs for the big one and fucking goes for Roman, let him fucking walk real quick with Seth, because that would be a beautiful opportunity at WrestleMania.
Oh, absolutely.
Cash in and take that
huge.
shit. That would be a
Absolutely.
massive pop. End the show with that shit for night one. Fucking fireworks, baby, with fucking LA Knight holding that bitch above. Yeah.
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 Like I can just imagine the promo he would cut after he wins the
That
title.
Monday
bro.
night, that Monday night would be fucking explosive.
All I'm gonna say here is
LA Knight, man.
whoever wins this match, do not let them cash it in on the Intercontinental or United States Championship.
Fuck
This
no. This is made for big
briefcase
opportunities.
should only be for the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying, bro, if Logan Paul is the one to win it, that he's gonna end up cashing it in on like Gunther or Austin Theory. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that'll be beneficial. Apparently, I don't know if you guys covered it on the podcast, but apparently Vince McMahon and his team want Logan to win.
Yeah.
So I was gonna get into that after I, give you guys my winner.
So I want LA Knight to win. It makes the most sense. If I have another two, it's got to be Damian Priest because of what I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
I
same.
could see, Finn.
It's Damian or LA.
It's got to be like there's no other option.
I would only be happy with those two.
And I do think that obviously we're gonna see a big showcase between Logan and Ricochet, and that'll carry on to a big match at SummerSlam in Detroit.
There you go.
Yeah, well said. But now,
your turn.
Who I have winning this match? I love me some LA Knight. That's, who I want to win this match because I've been, on his bandwagon train since Impact Wrestling as Eli Drake. So for me, like seeing, LA Knight get all these big opportunities and become this megastar, I love seeing it. Always love seeing somebody, I watch like on a smaller scale, take off in the big leagues like MJF, Carmelo Hayes, and LA Knight, he's another one of them. Max Caster as well. Support indie wrestling. But I think what's going to happen, I do think Logan Paul is going to win this match, and I'm not going to complain if he does win. I think that definitely it will bring more eyes to the WWE product, and Logan Paul is very unpredictable when he's going to show up because it's not like they have him just work the big shows. He's been working, regular Premier Live events. And honestly, I think having a part-timer like Logan Paul winning that briefcase, because of course, WWE is going to want to put a championship on him eventually. It makes the most logical sense for him to, if he's going to win a title, instead of, having to do like what they did at Crown Jewel, where it made no sense that he got a shot at the title, he would have a briefcase that he can cash in anywhere, anytime. And I think he's going to cash it in towards WrestleMania.
Let him finish, bitch.
And we're going to get Rollins versus Paul 2 at WrestleMania.
I think if Logan Paul cashes in, it's going to be against Austin Theory. I don't see him cashing in against Rollins. And if he does, he's definitely not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, or you can have Gunther, whenever he loses the championship to somebody, whoever beats Gunther, have Logan Paul cash it in on that person, and then Gunther can focus on the World Heavyweight title with Rollins towards Mania, which I like that scenario better. And you can have Logan Paul, be the Intercontinental Champion and feud with whoever beats Gunther.
I feel like Paul would have, if worst case scenario, because we don't want this to really legitimately happen, but if it was to happen, I feel like he would have a better match and a better story with somebody like Austin Theory as opposed to somebody else, just because they're both the same athletically. They're both, they're good talkers. They both like talking shit.
So I could see it working if Austin Theory is a face. Because
it
I
could
think Logan
happen.
Paul's doing just fine as a heel.
Austin Theory hasn't been seen in 3 weeks. What is he doing? He's the U.S. champion. He hasn't been on TV. Could they possibly be, is he injured? He can't be injured because they would have took the title away from him. Are they going to be giving him
here's
a
what I'm going to say
change?
too. If LA Knight does not win the Money in the Bank ladder match, he's going to be the one that goes against Austin Theory at SummerSlam, and he's going to take that championship from him.
It could be a possibility.
I do want LA Knight to win this match because I think if he doesn't win, that whole place is going to riot.
Exactly. And you always, not necessarily just for the fans, but I want whoever wins it to have the most benefit from winning that. And I feel like that's LA Knight, bro. He was getting cheered. He was fucking Triple H couldn't even speak in Saudi Arabia during the press conference because everybody was chanting LA Knight, bro. The dude is global, man. He would benefit the most from winning this match.
Very true. So we all do have LA Knight. Well, I have Logan Paul winning this. You guys both have LA Knight.
LA Knight, man.
LA Knight.
All right. So moving on now to the main event match for WWE Money in the Bank. We have the Bloodline Civil War match, Roman and Solo versus the Usos.
That is one of the most fire graphics WWE has made in years, by the way. With the tear in between.
Looks like a fight night.
Oh yeah, this match is definitely gonna have a big.
It's gonna be a heavy hitter.
And this is WWE's bread and butter at the end of the day. If it wasn't for the Bloodline and what they've been doing over the last couple of years, WWE would have very little interest in what they're doing. Story-wise. I'm not talking about popularity. Popularity too, but story-wise. The Bloodline is it. They're going to try their hardest to prolong the storyline as long as they possibly can. Just because they don't really have much going for them outside of it.
They got a few little things, but nothing as big as the Bloodline.
There's nothing in WWE, even on the same pedestal as the Bloodline storyline happening right now. Yeah. And I do think, obviously, at some point, Rikishi and more members of the NOI family or whatever show up, especially Rikishi because, he's the Usos' father. He could not like the way that Roman is, treating his sons, and he could get involved and try and smooth things over or whatever. This is not what family does. I could definitely see that being a possibility. This is a very hard match to predict because if the Usos win, they're going to end up pinning Solo. Roman's not getting pinned until he loses the title.
You fucking thought.
You
thought. Nah, boy. Me and Donnie have other reservations. We talked about it on the podcast. We're in cahoots against you, Dan.
This Saturday, before Money in the Bank, guys.
Yep. You'll have to see it then. We're not going to tell you why.
We're not going to spoil what we said.
No spoilers. No, me and Donnie have other reservations, though.
I'll watch it at some point. I highly doubt I'm going to end up watching it on Saturday. I'll watch it at some point, though.
Look at that. This guy unsupportive of his own damn podcast. Piece of shit.
Hey, anyways, man, I'm not going to watch a podcast and then go live for 3.5 hours.
You can do it simultaneously. Just choose not to, pussy.
Anyways, as it is, I got to do 2 streams on Saturday. So,
whose fault is that?
I'm a fucking Mark. Leave me alone.
That's why your middle name is Mark. There you go.
So yeah. You go.
That was so in sync too. Right at the same time, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fucking killer ass match. We already know it. I mean, like Dan said, for the past couple of years, it has been WWE's bread and butter. It's like their fucking baby, dude. It really has been something special, and I think Saturday it's just gonna get furthered. As far as the difficulty in terms of predicting the match, like I said, Saturday before the show, if you guys watching want to check it out, me and Don elaborate as to why. But I'm gonna have to go with the Usos on this one. I have to go with the Usos and stand by what I said on the podcast. I have to, and it's unfortunate because I can't go into the reasonings right now because the podcast doesn't air until Saturday, so I'm kind of tight-lipped.
Yeah, let's just say, Danny. Ben was just like you at first when we talked about this whole, the whole backstage, drama going on with this match. And I kind of lured him into another way of thinking.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, it made sense the way it was played out. So honestly, I have to stick with my guns and go with fucking the Usos, and I'm gonna go with Jay pinning Roman. But that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so definitely I'm going to have the Usos beating Roman and Solo. I think that this is going to be, another way to further the storyline, and definitely what's going to happen is going to lead to SummerSlam. That's all I can say. I'm not spoiling what we talked about on the podcast. I know his microphone. I didn't even mute him. Your microphone's in play. This has been happening to him too.
Ain't no opinions for you, bitch.
I hit the button by accident. The universe working against me.
We should have just kept it going.
I know. I thought you were gonna spoil it.
Roman hasn't gotten pinned since 2019. I don't see him getting pinned until he's ready to drop the titles.
I'm sorry, bud, but if anybody could pre-title drop pin him, it is fucking main event Uso. And that is the only fucking person, and this would be the way. Especially,
I wish I can continue saying what I'm gonna say. But I can't because I will absolutely blast.
I don't even necessarily think that the Usos are gonna be in cahoots with each other. I think we're going to see at some point Jay turning on Jimmy, not really being able to trust his brother, and that's going to add further friction between the bloodline and have Jay sort of go on his own. That's what I think is going to happen. Something similar like that. But I just can't, with how dominant Roman has been, I can't see anybody pinning him outside of Cody Rhodes for the title.
This is the most undominant he's been, the most vulnerable he's been, bro. What do you mean? This is the least dominant he's
has
been.
not.
What's gonna happen? Paul Heyman's gonna freaking waddle his way in the ring.
It also doesn't count because he hasn't defended the title since WrestleMania 92. The last person he defended the titles against was Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Seth Rollins got this new championship a month ago, and he's defended it more than freaking Roman has this year.
That's because that's considered the workhorse title. Didn't you hear what Triple H said when he announced that
I don't give a shit. He should be defending this championship more often. I believe back in the day, like when, Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund were champions, they were defending it at least once a month.
True.
Or every other month.
So,
I don't think I've ever seen a Bob Backlund match, man.
Put me in a chicken wing.
I got to go with the Usos. I could see them winning. I see them pinning Solo and not Roman. I don't see Roman getting pinned until he's ready to drop the titles.
I'm going to go Usos as well. I think that they're going to win this Civil War. And if you want to know exactly what me and Ben are talking about, definitely tune into the podcast this Saturday. Great way to plug it. But is there any other predictions or anything else you guys want to add to this?
No. We'll be live on Saturday, 3 to probably like 6 or 6:30, and then I'll be live again from 8 to 10 watching AW Collision. So it's gonna be a huge day of pro wrestling. I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Yeah.
But to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that are watching, let us know in the comment section below your predictions for the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-view premiere live event that we'll be doing a live watch along to on the channel this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All three of us will be there, and I'm sure some of the We Are Wrestling extras will be there as well with me. But if you guys enjoyed the predictions for WWE Money in the Bank 2023, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're watching, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. If you're listening, give us a 5-star review because that's what makes Danny's nipples hard. Links down in the description below. You can go follow all of us on our social medias and other YouTube pages, all that down below. In addition, you want shorter clips and additional content, go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. All the links down below. And of course, To all the maniacs worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.